Okay, let's continue. When we continue on this one, we continue on the graphs, the functions, and the relations. Okay, on the functions, we are having 3.2. The same question paper is 10 Cape 2023, paper 1, grade 9. It says, read the graph of y is equals to minus 2x minus 4 drawn below and answer the questions that follows. We are given the intercepts there. The graph passes through minus 2 as x and also minus 4 as y. And then the first question says, on the same Cartesian plane above, which is attached at the end of the question paper, take it off, attach it on your answer sheet, and then draw the graph of y is equals to minus 2x plus 4 and indicate the graph drawn. What do they mean, indicate the graph drawn? I suppose they should be saying indicate the intercepts of the graph drawn. Good. But let us not argue with the examiner. When you indicate the graph drawn, you will just draw it and then label y is equals to minus 2x plus 4. Okay, I'm having the same question paper here. We will look at it and then we will do it together. Please, most of learners, when coming to examination room, they know how to draw the graph, but unfortunately, they don't attach this graph paper on their answer book. So it becomes difficult for the markers to find it, or they just use their own paper to answer a graph, and then which it doesn't go according to the scale, and then learners start to lose marks. So invigilators out there, if you are also listening, please conscientize with the learners. Okay, I will do the properties of this graph first so that we can understand what is what. Okay, let's look at it clearly here. In here, they say draw the graph. And then how do we then draw the graph? Let me remove this one and let's go to workings. When we have equation y is equals to minus 2x plus 4. Okay, that's the first one. Okay. I say the first thing we do, we must look for the x and the y intercept. If a learner so far doesn't know how to find the intercept, then this question, they will just skip it. There's nothing they're going to do. They can't even draw the graph. Okay, let's start with the x-intercept. The x-intercept always y is equals to 0, which means on the graph, wherever you see y, you will put 0. And then on the second part, we will do the y-intercept where x value is 0. Let's start with the y-intercept. We will say, y-intercept will say y is equals to minus 2 into brackets. We'll put 0 because whatever there is x is 0. Then plus 4. Then I'll punch on the calculator. Minus 2 multiplied by 0, it's 0. Then remain with 4. Then y is equals to 4. Then I advise learners at the end, just write this as a coordinate. X, you said it's 0, and then put your 4. Then you have a coordinate 0 and 4. Good. Let's go to x-intercept. X-intercept, wherever you see y value on the original equation, you must put 0. Then we'll have 0 is equals to minus 2x plus 4. Okay, let's solve for x. Then which means we are having these two different terms are not the same. So which means we must take one part to the other side. I can take minus 2x to the other side, which means I'm going to multiply it by negative. So if I multiply by negative, I'll have negative 2x multiplied by negative, which will gives me positive 2x. Then it's equals to the remaining part. This side is plus 4. I'll just write 4. Then how do I get rid of 2? If I have it 2 multiplying x, then I'll divide both sides by 2. Then this one divided by this one is 1. Then remain 1x is equals to 4 divided by 2, which is just 2. Then which means when I check, my coordinate will be 2 as an x and my y. Don't forget y, it was 0. Good. Then I am done solving the intercept. So let me go back to our graph. Then what do I do when I have that one? When I have that part, remember I'm finding the intercepts like this one. It is the shortest way to solve it. It gives you an opportunity to stop starting with the table. Don't forget that it's a table of an intercept, which means we have the table like this one. Here are the x and here are the y. Automatically, your table like this, it will be difficult for you to to input all the x and the y intercepts that are available there. You'll just have other intercepts, but not specifically the y and the x. Okay, what do we do? How do we plot? Learners are still finding it difficult to plot. Okay, learners, let's do it together then. Just throw something like this one. Just look for the mathematic mathematic book where it has the lines like this one, and then just plot everything like this. Straight line as a y, then from 0 up to 7, 0 up to -7, straight one horizontally from -0 up to -9, 0 up to 9. And then let's do it together in this way. The first point we have to plot is 2 and 0. And the second point is 0 and 4. So which means over in here, the x value is 2. The y value is 0. And where the y value is on this line. The line of x, that is where the y value is 0. And on this line, that is where the x value is 0. So when I say 2 and 0, 2 and 0, it means I'm looking for x is 2. X is 2 here, then I will put it x is 2 on this line. I can just I will say draw a dotted line with a ruler or with a pencil, yes, and then so that you can be able to wrap it. So at this point, and then again draw where y is 0. 0 is origin here, right? And then you just say dotted line like this one. Then where the two lines meet, where the two lines intersect or meet, you draw a point. And then what do? You take your wrapper, you wrap all the dotted line you have drawn, you leave the point. The second point, y is 4, and then x is 0. X is 0 on this line. Let's start with y is 4. Y is 4 on this line. Then I will draw the dotted line like this one, and then I will draw the dotted line of x is 0 on the line where x is 0, which is line y. Then where the two lines intersect, I will put a point like this one. Then after, what do? I take my pencil and wrap every line that I have drawn with a pencil that is dotted. Then the next thing, our equation as it looks, it has in its standard form, it m multiplied by x plus c. So which means c represent 4, and then m itself is represented by -2. There are the two conditions in which the f can be. So the m can be a positive value, and the m can be a negative value. So which tells you the slope of the graph automatically. So if m is positive, it means for the graph, it will be drawn from downwards going upwards, which means for the graph, it will be increasing. But if m is negative, the graph will be drawn upwards going downwards. Remember, we are drawing from the left to the right. When I say upwards, downwards, don't draw upwards coming from the right going to the left. No, you draw upwards, down to upwards coming from the left to right. So which means if my m is negative, my graph, it will be drawn from upwards to downwards, coming from left to right. So which means now on my Cartesian plane, I have to draw my line, straight line using the ruler, passing through 4 and passing through 2. And then at the same time, I have to draw it from up. Some of learners just draw the graph in this format. You just draw it here. And then after drawing it here, you leave it like this one. Yes, it's correct, but we advise you to go further and show other intercepts by just on the line. Draw it from here up there, going down there, and then leave it with this arrow, because this arrow shows on the graph keeps on going until where further notice we don't know. And then, like they said, indicate. How do we indicate? We just say y is equals to -2x plus 4. Good. That is how we answer the first question of drawing the graph. Okay, let's look at the second one. But what are the intercepts of the graph you have drawn? The intercepts of the graph you have drawn, we have already worked them out. Don't forget that. We have already worked them out. Remember, or I also questioned they should have said. So we have the x-intercept, which are this one, where y is 0, and we have the y-intercept, which are this one, which is what? 2 and 0, and 4, 0 and 4. Good, which means we have already answered the next question. And then, but how are the gradient of the two graphs? What will you say? You look at them. This is an English question. How are the gradient? Gradient of the graph, we say, this one is -2. And of the first one of -2x minus 4, we say, the gradient are what? Are the same. They are what? They are the same. So what does it tell you? It tells you what the two equations are parallel, or the two lines are parallel. But give the reason. Both equals to minus 2. They are the same. Then the two straight lines are parallel. Then free 6 marks. Don't forget how we work it out. The gradients are the same. Both equals to minus 2. See you on the next video. Please be prepared for examination.